We're conditioned from a young age to fit in, please people, meet others' expectations. So it's no wonder so many of us are not living our lives for ourselves. We fear judgment from others. So we spend our lives trying to please people, and essentially we become people pleasers. I spent years making decisions based on what looked good, what made me be perceived as a decent person. But what I didn't realize for so long was that it was at the expense of my own health and happiness. My fiance Alex and I have been together for 10 years, and at the beginning of our relationship, I so distinctly remember him saying something to me. He said, "You've got to look after number one." And he was referring to himself as number one in the situation. And I remember thinking, what an arrogant, selfish thing to say. Am I really catching feelings for this guy? But we went on to discuss it further, and it began to make more sense to me. And over the course of our relationship, I saw that he wasn't actually selfish, and that when appropriate, he would put my needs in front of his own. But what I ended up learning about him was that he had self-love, self-respect, and he lived his life for himself. And I saw over time that he could do that. He could live his life for himself, and he could also love me with all his heart at the same time. Both can be true at the same time. So don't worry about that step to living your life for yourself. Don't worry if you think it's going to take away from other parts of your life. It's not. You can live your life for yourself, and you can also love and be generous and be a caring, giving person to others at the same time, okay? Both can be true at the same time. So his mentality of you've got to look after number one, it's a similar concept to the oxygen masks on airplanes. You've got to put on your own oxygen mask first before you help others. If you get the oxygen to yourself, you can ensure that you can then be able to go help others as well. That is the general idea that my partner Alex has when he says that you've got to look after number one. And when I first heard this, it was just such a foreign concept to me. At the time, I was a real people pleaser. I wanted people to like me. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, and I wanted everyone to be happy. And I truly believe that Alex has taught me over the years to start looking after myself and to start living my life for me. But I actually made a lot of progress as well just a few weeks ago with my therapist. And I want to tell you what she got me to do that has really helped me to start living life for myself. So I opened up to my therapist a few months ago about how I would often go the whole day just doing things for others, and that there was nothing in my day that was truly for me. If you're a parent or a high achiever, you can probably relate to this. It's that constant hustle, that never-ending to-do list, and those little kids that depend on you the whole day. So my therapist asked me to do something. Between sessions, she said, for the next 2 weeks, I want you to commit to doing one joyful thing for yourself every day. Even if some days it's only 10 minutes, it just has to be every single day. So I went home, and in my usual fashion, I put a chart on my fridge so I could track my progress with a giant red cross, because I'm very much a visual person and I need to see my progress, and I also need to be reminded. And if I put something right on the fridge, I'm going to be reminded about it every single day. And then I just did my joyful thing every day for 2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, I did have a bit of an aha moment, which I will tell you about in a sec. But what I actually did during the 2 weeks was I would stop and I would ask myself, what do I want right now? Some days I would go for a walk, some days I would watch TV, and some days I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do for my joyful thing. So what I decided to do on those particular days where I just couldn't think of anything joyful that I wanted to do was to instead do an 8-minute Navy SEAL nap. So the Navy SEAL nap is when you lay down for 8 minutes with your legs elevated above your heart and you nap for 8 minutes. Now, I cannot fall asleep in 8 minutes. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can't actually fall asleep in 8 minutes. So instead, I just rested for 8 minutes. And the idea is to do it with, no music, no headphones, just rest. Close your eyes and rest. So I did that on some of my days where I just couldn't think of anything joyful that I wanted to do. And those were often the days where I was just feeling exhausted and I needed that rest. Sometimes I would extend those 8 minutes and they'd end up being 30 minutes or so. And sometimes I would add in resting with my legs elevated and watching a YouTube video or something like that I wanted to enjoy. So sometimes I would incorporate the two. I'd do something joyful and I'd rest my body at the same time. But the main thing I want to make clear here is that each day I would come back to the question of, what do I want now? What does my body need right now? And it's been incredible to experience how I actually calm myself down in this time. Even though sometimes it's only 10 minutes, I'm at least switching off for 10 minutes and I'm giving myself something for me in that 10 minutes. So after I finished my 2 weeks of my joyful or restful moment in each day, I was leaving my therapist's office and she said to me, keep it up. It'll be really good for you if you keep up this joyful moment every day. And I replied to her and I said, do you know what the most interesting thing is about this that's been for me? Is that every day I've actually stopped and I've asked myself, what do I want right now? Because I've never done that before. And she smiled and she said, that's exactly what I was hoping would happen. Sometimes we don't know what we want because we've always been so outwardly focused. Doing this 2-week joyful challenge got me to stop and ask myself, what do I want? What do I want in this moment? It allowed me to be present. It allowed me to get into my body and feel what I was feeling in that moment and give myself what I needed. Now that I'm getting into the habit of asking myself every day, what do I want today? What do I want right now? I will naturally be more inclined to consider myself in all sorts of situations throughout the day. If you want to start living for yourself, I really encourage you to try this daily joy routine. It will get you thinking differently. It will allow you to start putting your needs in front of others in a non-selfish way. It's actually an intentional act of self-care, and you can look after yourself and continue to be the kind, caring, generous person that you wish to be at the same time. Both can be true together. Your to-do list is up on the screen for you to screenshot now. I think a big part of living for yourself is also learning to not care what other people think and to stop pleasing other people so that they will like you. So I made a video about how to stop people pleasing, which is up on the screen now and perfect to watch next. I like to end my videos with something that I am grateful for. I think it makes sense today to say that I am grateful for Alex and our relationship and the growth that we have both been able to do in our relationship from each other. I think the point of being in a loving relationship is not to have someone to complete you, but to have someone who helps you to grow into the best person that you can be. So yeah, I'd love to know, what are you grateful for today?